So this is all it does in attract mode. It just flashes for the lights and says the same thing over and over again on the screen. So this game is somewhat unusual in that the data is stored on an 8-track tape. Of course, memory was expensive, so rather than having a lot of ROM chips, they translated it to something to feed onto the 8-track tape here. So there's 4 categories of the game, which kind of works well within this case because you can have 4 programs on the 8-track tape. So there's 8 tracks on here. There are 4 different pairs of stereo tracks in application audio. But so on this, there's basically 2 heads, each with 4 different categories in this case. So there's sports, movies, people, and potpourri. And you change the category, and it's just changing the head position. So this is just, I believe this is a Motorola 8-track that has been modified. You can see all the wires going out into the game. But so the program change switch and the lights and everything are all hooked into the game logic. So it can use a relay to start the motor, and then the category switch on the control panel changes the program, and then the game knows what category it's in based on which program, where the head position is that it's reading it back out from the tape player. And of course there's the secondary board here, which has some dip switches and the audio amp on it. But I think the real reason that they put the second board in is so there's a little op amp right there, an LM339, which they probably wanted to keep as close to the tape unit as possible to buffer it to the main board over here, which there's not much to it. You can see the ROMs way back there. There's only like 40 chips on it for an Atari board. It's not a lot. But so when we start the game, by crediting it, the tape drive will start running. Because that's how you change category. So you can't see it moving here, but you can on the screen. So in the proper order, sports is actually the first track. I actually got this scope hooked up to it. So the top trace is head 1, the bottom one's head 2. Head 1 is the lower head. So this is sports, first category. If I switch to movies here, the next one's people. And you can see how it's kind of scrambled. There's potpourri. So the last 2, head 1 isn't reading correctly. So now we're back to sports, movies. So if we're in people here, which is the third track, basically what's causing the issue is just simply the foam inside of behind the tape that puts pressure on the heads. The lower head, the way the tape guides are in this, the tape actually angles slightly away from the head at the bottom. So if the foam isn't working quite right, you can see how it's all kind of scrambled. But if I just put a little bit of pressure on the tape here, then it actually locks in right there. If I let go, you can see that it gets a little scrambled again. And pushing it in it, and there we go. You can kind of see the square waves. So it's actually kind of staying right now, so it should play. Yep. Yeah, there we go. It got dirty again. So now what I can do is just push on the tape a little bit, and then we'll probably see some garbage come up unless it makes a nice clean contact here. Yeah. So just replacing that foam will fix that issue, but here I'll reset it and then you can see what it really looks like. You can see, touch these two little pads here and it'll reset it just capacitively with your fingers. So we start up when we do sports. I don't know this stuff. It must be Brooklyn. So that's it. Then it gives you your rating here, and we're doing one for movies. I remember nothing about that movie except for the very last line. I don't know. Lucky me. Oh, I don't know. Sometimes you get those goofy little things, but so there we go. So surprisingly, the tape is still in great shape. Just need to get the foam replaced, and then we don't have the problem. And you can see when the tape drive isn't running, you just kind of see some noise from the op amp there. So here, I can credit it. You see it kind of get up to speed here. Yeah, people on potpourri still not working. So we'll just swap out the foam and all will be well.